As the adventurers barge in through the open castle walls, they're met with a horrifying scene.
Popcorn.
Like a dozen 6th grade goblins standing around the very king of fantasy Canada strapped to a nuke. And the king screams out, "Oh, adventurers, please, you're here to save me. Rescue me from this nuke. Don't let them destroy fantasy Canada." Meanwhile, one goblin looks about 5% taller than the rest, and his voice crackles just a little bit, and he says, "No, us goblins want good grades. We're tired of being,
My favorite plot twist of all time.
in spelling bees. Do you know how many of us have been killed when we didn't spell methamphetamine correct?" And the king, he looks desperate. He says, Why? Why do this to Fantasy Canada? You've always loved us." And being put into salsa. And that's when you notice that there's a shadowy figure next to the 7th grader. You can just barely make out the outline of a ghostly figure. The iconic Goob whispering into the 7th grader's ears, convincing him to do acts of horrific evil.
Oh fuck, not this guy again.
Adventurers, what do you do? Twitch chat, if you donate messages, that will be the king's messages from now on. While you're deciding what to do, you hear the 7th grader scream out.
Run.
I entice Goob with a pinch of cocaine to switch sides.
You hear the 7th grader yell out, "We'll do it! We'll launch the nuke!" But before he can finish the sentence, the king says, "Oh, I pooped myself." Before he can finish the sentence, Doug starts running forward, holding his Bic lighter. He starts sprinting at the nuke with his Bic lighter out, and the 7th grader says, "Holy fuck, no, hold on! This is a bluff! We weren't actually gonna set it off!" And he tries to stop you, but you're running at full speed. He needs to roll a 14 or above to stop you.
I prepare my time staff.
Save me, I'll immortalize all you Azimuths on the channel. Also infinite cocaine.
The king shouts out, "Infinite cocaine if you save me!" And then realizes in horror that the 7th grade goblin was not able to stop him.
Let's go.
And watch as Doug runs past the goblins and sets the Bic lighter right at the base of the nuke. Your Bic lighter is low on fuel at this
I
point.
aim my time staff at Doug and fire.
Okay, as Doug is leaning forward, Pringles runs forward with the time staff. Pringles, in an attempt to stop this madness, reaches out with the time staff, and some delicious pepper comes out onto the bottom. Very nice. It just kind of seasons the floor a little bit. Meanwhile, Doug leans forward with the Bic lighter.
It's well seasoned, yeah.
14 or above will launch the nuke.
Sneezes.
And as Doug runs forward, he leans down with the Bic lighter. You hear the flame ignites. And suddenly, boom! A massive explosion erupts from underneath the rocket. And you hear the king yell out.
Wait a second, is that guy from Missouri? I'm fucked.
As the rocket engines begin, and you see the king shoot off into the atmosphere. Any words as this is happening?
I hereby decree that all Bic lighters are now illegal.
The king shouts out, "No more Bic lighters!" Everybody runs screaming out of the castle courtyard. All the goblins are running for their lives. The 7th grader yells, "We just wanted good grades!" And you look up into the sky. Certainly the nuke won't land. Certainly the nuke malfunctioned. You wait for just a moment until you see the king on his rocket slowly shooting down towards Earth. Goob looks at you, Egg.
I want to run back to the castle.
I cast Scramble on the king.
Wait, why? Doug runs back into the castle hoping it'll help him. Goob looks at you, Egg, and he says, "Can I have a little cocaine before we die?" Meanwhile, Pringle casts Scramble, and for some reason, swaps himself with the king, who finds himself on the ground next to his subjects. Pringle now, strapped to the nuke, is watching it careen towards the Earth.
They'll give the king some cocaine to run faster as well.
Okay. All right, Egg. Egg goes and gives,
I use my pansexuality on the nuke.
a bunch of cocaine to Goob and the king. The nuke is careening towards Earth. Pringle the frying pan looks at the nuke and attempts to seduce him.
I love you, nuclear energy weaponized into an explosive device. I've always loved you.
Okay, now this is a nuke and not a living creature, but just maybe you can pull it off. I'll give you some advantage. 13 or above, and it just gets through to him.
You got this.
Unfortunately, the cold, calculating eyes of the nuke do not look back at you because it is an inanimate object. And as Goob and the king and Egg
Nuke, please.
do one last line, the nuke crashes into the cheese woods. Where, by the way, Goob is still laying. And explodes in a massive fire! Boom!
Greater.
Oh, okay, wait, hold on, before that happens. Right before connecting. Pringle uses scramble one more time, swaps out, and the 7th grader swaps places onto the nuke and screams, wait, what the fuck? As the rocket goes down and boom! Explodes over everything! Fantasy Canada is saved! And as the fire and the flames slowly fade away, you realize that sadly, the frying pan and the goblins and the king and the bear have all perished in the nuclear explosion. But turns out Doug made it out alive! Doug was safe in the castle! It was nuke-proof! Let's go, Doug! Doug's the hero of fake Canada! And that means that with everybody else dead, Doug is the new king of fantasy Canada! And gets to enjoy all the popcorn to himself! Let's go, Doug! Ooh, 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 ooh.